Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sandbox Wednesday stream. I'm Alex Florez, aka Kamistazi, joined here and voiced mind, body, and soul by Lucas is right. How you doing, Lucas?
That's me. I'm doing pretty good, Alex. I had Hawaiian food for breakfast, so
Oh,
good day. Good day.
what is? Explain yourself. Say more right now.
Hawaiian
What?
food. So
Yeah, what does
when
that
I say
mean?
Hawaiian food, I think like spam musubi. So
Okay.
something with spam, something with some sort of a fried egg, and then just Hawaiian barbecue chicken. So it's just barbecue chicken, but with like a Hawaiian style flavor to it, and then
Okay.
just some regular rice.
All
But
right.
this spam is what really does it for me. That I know spam isn't the healthiest of foods,
Sure.
but I mean, I grew up in Hawaii and I grew up eating spam, and so it's got like a really special place in my heart. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right. We're gonna keep the radio on just because we're not playing a game. We're building a game.
Good call.
So just a little background audio. If the music is too loud, everybody in the chat, let me know and I can turn it down. We don't usually mix radio with Lucas, so we're doing it a little different today.
I like it.
All right, who else here? We got Pickaxe Master, The Yoke's on You, Zumsy, Play Game for Fun. Welcome everybody. We also got Emotional over on YouTube. Hoping your emotions are doing all right. I'm not familiar with that. And right, so today we're gonna dive into leaderboards. I believe Cyberdragon actually just did this on stream like Monday. I didn't realize we didn't plan this together or anything. I actually as awesome as Cyberdragon is, I don't get a chance to talk to him very often. We're in very different time zones, and yeah, our paths don't cross as much on a daily basis. So I'm not sure what all he dove into on this. Mine's gonna be super basic, simple. Okay, not as simple as it could be, because we did have a specific thing that we want to do with leaderboards, and we wanted to have a scenario where maybe you're looking for the highest number of points or the best time, but your deaths reduces your score. So we have like a positive and a negative effect on the leaderboard, and we're going to see how we can mix those numbers in a way that makes sense and that works. Please make a squid game. We're going to make something kind of like that, I guess. So my idea for this,
going to make people kill each other?
Well, I'm thinking more like the jumping on platforms aspect of Squid Games.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna focus on disappearing platforms. It's gonna be just simple parkour. We're gonna make it super duper simple. I know I say that and I never do that. I always try to make it more complicated. But I will. I will do my best to try to get it. Pickaxe Master says, just as feedback, sometimes players' score doesn't get tracked to global leaderboard. But that could be because we're not in 0.11. So I'm in 0.10 for this also. I can't show you 0.11 yet because it's not out yet. But I will try to get this working in 0.10. There are going to be bugs in the system still, right? Because, we're still in alpha, we're still building things, we're still changing things every single day. I know that the team's been working hard on getting these features ready, and I don't know if the leaderboard is going to have significant improvements in 0.11 from 0.10. I haven't messed with the leaderboard system at all yet. I know where it is. It's in the rules, but I haven't actually tried doing anything with it until today. So we're gonna learn it together. So let's get started. Now, what I would like to do is we're gonna kind of dig out an area that's gonna be our pit of doom, our space where there's no. Well, I don't want to say there's no return. I mean, you do have hope. You will respawn. That's the whole point, right? It's that you fall, and then you'll come back. But the number of times you fall is going to reduce your score. right? So we're just gonna start digging out some areas, and we're gonna have people fall all the way down. First thing I want to test is that falling to the bottom here counts as a death. I'm not sure that it does.
Okay.
I want to make sure that it does. So
I don't think it does on average.
I feel like I remember that falling to the bottom just respawns you and leaves your health. A fall to your death, or like to avoid or something that kills you at the bottom, it does definitely kill you, but this is what we want to make sure of. So let's see what we're gonna do. We're gonna use we're not gonna override equipment. We're gonna let people start with their own equipment if they want. We're gonna increase the spawn volume size so that way people can pop up in different areas, and no teams needed. Let's check out what
person for themselves.
Yeah. So let's take a look at our health here. So death event is going to reset you. It means it just puts you back in the spawn area. Instant death message. We will leave that there for now in case we want to have some sort of like danger kill zone. In case the bottom falling to the bottom doesn't kill the player, we'll use the kill message to kill him. Message sent on death. So this is where we're going to do our death counter. So death is going to be the message that we send on death, and it's going to broadcast to our rules system. We'll leave our damaging and healing box alone for now, and now we need to make a rule. So we go to our gameplay tab here, and we are going to figure out what we can do for a death counter. So our rules. Actually, do we have a preset for this? Point raise, collect points, time trial, combo, hunger, poison shop. Not really, but this is a pretty simple rule. So for our math, we're going to make a math block here, and on our message death, we're going to take a variable, which is going to be a death count. So our variable type is going to need to be a integer number as opposed to a decimal value. And the name of it is going to be deaths. And it's going to start with a value of 0. So we create that. And that is our operand 1. And from that, we're going to add a fixed value of 1 every time we die. And the result will get put back into the deaths. So we start with 0. If we die, it sends the death message and adds 1 to it and puts it back in that variable. So we're going to see that counter go up each time we die. And then message to send, we actually don't need to send a message because that's the whole rule. Now we do want to make sure that we can see that variable. So let's add another block here. I'm going to expand this actually. It's a little too small to see what's going on. We're going to add another rule, which is going to be our game screen and our heads up display, the HUD. And we're going to combine these things actually. So these things are going to be what?
When you click on the heads up display, the image it gives you is the blue screen of death.
I was like, wait,
a
what?
lot of time on that screen here recently, and it brings a very strong fear response into my gut.
So that's there because we have not set up. It's requiring a message of some sort. So this is why it's
fair.
Yeah, it's supposed to trigger you because you go, oh no, I need to fix this thing, and you fix it by selecting
something.
Yeah, anything. So, I wish we could have it just be automatically starting. Like, what if we just didn't have a message? I feel like none should be an option there, but we will. Yeah, trigger can be our default one. So we'll trigger it, and we do need on events on player join. Can we move that to the start? I feel like you should be able to reorder these things, and I feel like it doesn't really like letting you do that.
Some things you can reorder, but you have to reorder them by dragging something from the end to the beginning. You can't drag something from the beginning to the end.
Well, I think if we separate them out into windows, then they pop in the order that they're put into.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna call this rule set our death counter. And on player join
says a message on join ?
Yep, that's what we're doing. So on message on join, I don't want to use trigger because sometimes trigger is used for other things by default. So we're just gonna call this game start.
I mean that makes sense because it's happening when the game starts. So I like it.
Oh, see, this one doesn't want to. It's putting it in the middle. The order of these doesn't actually matter. I just like it for visual reasons to be like to see it happening in order.
Yeah. Mentally, it's easier for you to see it in a certain way.
Yeah, that math really wants to be between these two things, so we'll just leave it. Message required is gonna game start, and then our death counter. Let's see. I feel like we can just have it to the side. We'll put it underneath the health box, basically. And then mode. Honestly, I don't remember what the question mark means, but if we do info, this might tell us. Select mode. Choose the mode for the selected slot. Default, the slot will not change and inherit the previously set content. Edit, choose new content for the selected slot. Oh, okay. So this is when you're transitioning. The question mark is if you're transitioning between multiple heads-up display possibilities. It means it just preserves that slot with a question mark from whatever it was before. But we do want to choose new content for this. So you can use the pencil and select the variable deaths. Let's see. The name is also going to be deaths. Our icon, what should we pick for an icon here? We zoom in. You can't zoom with the scroll. No. So we've got an explosion.
There's more. I bet you there's a skull in there somewhere.
There's a skull and crossbones.
There you
definitely use that. I like that one. All right. We're gonna go with the medium size, make it a little bigger because we're only doing basically two variables. We're doing our whatever our score is and then our deaths.
Okay.
Progress bar, we do not need that. Value true, we do need that. And value only. Yep. So we're not doing this like value over max would be like the number of this thing over the maximum. We don't have a maximum number of deaths. It can just keep on going up as many times as you die.
Okay, so by putting value only, what you're saying is that is an unlimited variable.
Yeah, you could have like 5,000 deaths if you fall 5,000 times.
I would, so thank you.
Play Game for Fun asks, does anyone use all Sandbox Client, Game Maker, and VoxEdit on macOS Sequoia 15.2? I do not. I know that there are certain members on staff who use macOS, but I don't know what version they're on. I haven't used Macs extensively in quite a while now. And even the last time I did use a Mac, it was an old one at that. I had gotten one of the little boxes, a Mac Mini, to work on a coding project that required using Xcode because it was for an iPhone app, and you have to have an Apple device that supports the latest operating system in order to program for Apple, which is kind of ridiculous. But I got the oldest Mac Mini that could support the latest operating system at the time.
Fair enough.
All right, soft limits, and this is so if we were to select value max, then we can start using these soft limits, but we're not doing that. We're just doing value only, so it's just showing the deaths. All right, so that should be everything set up that we need for that. Now we can name these things as well, so we can make it a little more clear. So if you have a whole bunch of rules and you look at the rules hierarchy, it could be good for these things to have more descriptive names. This is sort of a little bit like doing commenting in code. We're just giving titles to these things. So death counter, on player join. I mean, these names should be pretty straightforward for what we're doing, but we could be a little more descriptive. So on player join, we'll leave that, but math, we could say add deaths. So that way it's very clear on our hierarchy and in here what exactly this is doing. And HUD, we could say death display. Wait, can we reorder here? No, we can't. I just really want to move this math to the other side, but it's fine. It's fine. All right. Let's hit play and see what happens. So we've got our death counter up there. Go West, you're not that late. You've only been going for about, what, 15 minutes or so? 20 minutes.
Yeah, you're close. Fine. Better late than never.
All right, so this is a possible jump here, but then if we fall, we just respawn. Does not count as a death. So we need something a little more lethal. So
like a pool of acid down there?
We could do that. Actually, that would be a pretty easy one to do.
Yeah, you just do a pool of acid or lava or something, and when they hit it, they start to take damage. They can't get out of it, and eventually they die.
Yep. That would be the simplest solution, is to do that, because we could use like a void or a message broadcaster or something lower down, but doing blocks. The problem with doing fall damage, like I would like it to be fall damage, but for whatever reason, fall damage leaves you with 1 HP. So, yeah, let's
that fall
do
damage is a tricky wicket.
Slime block. There we go. Wait, is this the liquid one? That is the liquid one. Okay. So we're going to replace all of our bottom layer of blocks with slime. Ta-da. Easy.
Easy peasy.
And we need to make sure.
No getting out of that.
Nope. And then we need to make sure that our music broke.
Oh, you know what you should also do? You should have some enemies down there that won't take on damage themselves, like some gelatinous cubes.
That would be cool, but because this would potentially be multiplayer, we're gonna skip enemies for now. You can do enemies in multiplayer, it adds an extra layer of complexity.
Yeah. Because when I kill it,
I promised we weren't gonna do.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not trying to make things more complicated, which is why I suggested the acid damage at the bottom, and I'm starting the process, and then I'm just completely derailing myself. So don't listen to a thing I'm saying unless it's helpful.
All right, so we're doing 1,000 damage on the slime block. Even if a player equips a whole bunch of HP bonusing equipment, it'll still kill them really super fast. I think you can only barely go above 1,000 HP with max defense equipment. I think. I don't remember exactly. All right, Let's see if this death counter works now. Hey. So theoretically, yeah, no, it kills us too fast. We don't even get to, we can't even swim down. I was thinking possibly we could swim to the bottom and then respawn. But it kills us very, very fast. We don't even have time to swim down. And our death counter works. Sweet. All right.
I like it.
We're going to hit save. And we've got an ad break coming in a minute here. So we'll keep an eye on that because we don't want anybody to miss anything.
When the ad break actually, when it hits 0, I'll let you know because you know there's always that delay between 0 and the ad actually starting.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we saved. Let's take a look at our gameplay rules here real quick. I feel like there was something else about this, and the music is like not wanting to work right now.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think we're gonna skip out the music. I used to do that before too, and then it got better, and now it's bad again.
What happens if you just pull up a YouTube tab with that same thing on it?
I could do that, but then I'd have another tab open, and I wouldn't have the cool display. Well, actually, the reason I made that display is because those songs, they like having attribution on them. So it gives credit to the artists, which is why I specifically set it up with where it would display the names.
You're such a good artist. When I say that, I mean like as an artist, as a human being, not like an artist who creates art, but you're also good at that. But like the fact that was something that you thought of that was like, it was a conscious effort on your part. I appreciate you.
I'm an artist's artist. I like I like the Web3 ability to give attribution and provenance to art. That's my thing.
I really dig it.
All right, so
we are now at 0.
Okay. All right. We're going to go to our break screen for just a second, and we'll be back in just a minute. Hey, we're back. Cosmogrog in there with a deep cut. a
what does that spell, Alex?
My initials in art. there was about 5 seconds when I was setting up my website. I graduated from college and I needed to set up a portfolio site so I could say, hey, I do graphic design. I can sort of make websites and hire me for jobs. And so I was picking out my URL, going to like, I think I did a Google URL, and I was like, afart.com. That would be a good one. And then I looked at it and went,
Let me
no.
ask you a question.
No.
That URL was actually available?
I don't know if it was or not, but
oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't.
I would have been so surprised if that was available. That's a wonderful website.
I don't know if it's real. I'm kind of afraid to find out. So, but there was just a few brief seconds where I was like, yeah, that'll be a good URL for no, it won't.
Oh, the website is for sale by GoDaddy for $10,000.
Oh,
somebody
not
owns
worth a fart.
the domain already. Yeah, no.
Well, GoDaddy owns it right now.
That price is a little stinky, if you ask me.
The BitFox asks, hi Alex, do you know why my score on the leaderboard is not counting? It's in Pickaxe Master Experience. Is that a known issue in Game Maker? So it could be an issue in the Game Maker. It could be a caching issue. I know that in the past there has been issues with things on the website updating in real time. And for those who don't know about like web design, there's a lot of stuff that websites try to not process live. And it's for efficiency reasons. So every time that you like search something on Amazon, it's not just you, there's literally millions of people searching things on Amazon at any given moment. And I don't know what kind of caching system Amazon has, but I know that if you're dealing with, like, I've set up WordPress blogs before, and if you don't cache that data, then the website tries to live process, because it's not like opening a Word doc where you've got text and images just all in one file. A website is typically, modern websites are built from data that's in various places. So it has to load in that image dynamically. It's loading in some JavaScript code from somewhere else. It's loading in style code from another file, because you don't want to have every single one of your website's pages have your style code on every single page, because that's just a lot of extra downloading that has
overloading.
To happen. Yeah, so while internet speeds have become massively faster, web pages have also become massively more complicated, and they try to simplify that by sharing the workload. So instead of downloading like the font styles and all the colors and everything else that happens to the text on every single page, you put that all in a separate style sheet that's a different file on your website. So the website has to pull all this data together, process it, and then spit out a sheet for you, a page for you to look at. And to help that process not take so long, because the extra 5 seconds that it takes for your page to load is a few hundred more users who go, not worth it, and navigates away to something else. It tries to it's almost like taking a snapshot of that page and saying like, here is it all processed, ready to go. We can download this to one user faster, but it lets your website still be flexible and changeable. But how quickly that cache updates as changes happen to your website can make a big difference in how up to date the information is. So when you have a website like the Sandbox that has a whole bunch of users uploading new content and changing what their lands look like, uploading new assets, minting things, buying things, selling things, you still want to have that caching happen so that way pages download fast enough. But if that cache takes like an hour to update, then somebody's going to be doing
People
something
are
on a
gonna lose
leaderboard.
interest.
They're going to do something on a leaderboard and they go, well, why doesn't it show up on the leaderboard? And also caches can break. So as we're in a system that the website keeps changing, sometimes the cache data might be really old. Sometimes it can take days or weeks to update. Sometimes you have to flush those caches manually. So it's a process. So if your leaderboard is not updating and everything appears to look correct, and I would say especially if your leaderboard updates correctly in game. Like if you're playing a game, you see the leaderboard update in game, but it's not matching on the website, then definitely put in a ticket on that. Clean the TSP cache folder. So when I say it's cache, that doesn't necessarily mean it's your local cache. What the website itself has a cache. Yeah, you could try clearing your cookies, emptying your temporary internet files folder. But if the cache of the website, where it like gathers all that data and has it ready to quickly download, if that's not cleared, then it'll take a long time to update. It's not working in game either. It could be a bug with the leaderboard. Is it happening to just you? Are there other people that are also not getting their high scores counting? Issue was results was in local leaderboard but didn't go to global. Okay. Well, I guess we'll see what happens today as we try to build this, and maybe I'll have some reports to make. Play a game for fun. When you say local leaderboard, you mean like at the end of your game you saw the results correctly, but then when it showed the global results afterwards, it was not updated? There could be other things that are happening to cause something like that too. Like it could be, I know that because you can update your game and like republish it without clearing the leaderboard. Maybe the leaderboard is showing from maybe the global leaderboard is showing an older version of the game's leaderboard, and so maybe there's a disconnect between those. There's a lot of things that it could be, and like I don't have the I don't have a way to check that, but it's something that I can report to our devs so that way they can take a closer look at it and see what's going on underneath the hood. All right, so we got our death counter. Let's make our level. Oh, there was something. Deaths. It was about this. So it's got the G for global, I think, right? Can I change that after the fact, or do you have to set that up? Oh, I don't think you can change that after you make it. That's funny that you can't adjust it. So this is global deaths, which that's not going to work because we need the deaths to be for each player. So we're going to do integer. Is it going to, yeah, name already exists. So we'll call it death, but we can fix it later. Value 0, and we want this to be local. So this is where the little icons, the eyes, are helpful. Local variable are specific to each player and can only be used when a player directly interacts with the game world, i.e. by interacting with a game object that contains a volume trigger, speaker, or asker. Global variables are player independent, meaning the value of a global variable is the same for all players. Global variables can be affected without the need of a player input. So if we were using global deaths, then the death counter would count for everybody. So if Lucas falls off a ledge 20 times, then my score would be affected. We don't want that. No.
Because so, I am going to fall off the ledge 20 times.
So we're going to fix this. We're going to change it to the death variable. And we're going to delete our old one. And you can see that all the ones it was connected to are red now. But we're going to fix the name here to deaths with an S. And notice that it doesn't reconnect them, but we can just click the checkbox and it'll fix everything. And now we'll double check that that is still working correctly. Ta-da. Okay. So still works the way you'd expect it to, but now it's using a local variable, so it's not going to affect every other player. Now let's make the actual level here. So we're just going to make some long jump sections. So, you know, it's like that's too long for a regular long jump, but we can do it coyote time pretty easily. But that's if you're comfortable with coyote time. Right? Not everybody is going to be. So so that's where part of the challenge. You can run the course faster if you can do some of the crazy jumps. Let's see. So we're just gonna take out some chunks here. Maybe we'll put in a few bridges. And the whole point is just going to be to get to the other side as quickly as possible without dying a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very simple level.
As we learned in grade school, death is bad.
At least they taught you that.
Yeah. I mean, they also taught me like Pythagorean's theorem, and you know, I've never used that since. So at least one of the two was good.
They teach us some crazy things.
They really did.
So all these are going to be kind of spaced unevenly. And then we're going to make sure that there's a path that is regular jumper friendly.
Mm. So we got a good question from Play Game for Fun over on Twitch. He asks, when you set the variables to global and let's say later you want to change them back to local, is there any way to edit that, or do you need to create a entirely new experience and replace all the roles?
You don't have to create a new experience. You would just create a new variable.
Okay.
Like we just did that.
This experience is giving me anxiety.
So we just a minute ago had a global variable that we wanted to be local. And so we did need to, unfortunately, we can't edit that from local to global. I don't think there's a way to do that here. I'm not sure why we can't change it, except maybe the act of changing it would be likely to break people's games if they didn't mean to do it.
Okay.
That's the only reason I can think why it would be grayed out. But what we can do is and what we just did is we made a second variable, or like we deleted the old one, made a new one that was local, and all of the parts, we could do it again right now. So we take deaths, we hit delete, and we can see that all these things change to red.
Okay.
So now
I didn't
we
know
just
did that.
Yeah.
What's now broken?
Yeah. So now we just recreate it. So we go local, deaths, create, and now we've got to just select the ones with the red boxes and check the deaths variable.
Oh wow, that was a great question.
Yeah, I did it so fast 5 minutes ago that you didn't even notice I did it.
Yes.
So yeah, it does. It's a very easy thing to fix. obviously, if we had a whole bunch more logic, then there would probably be a lot of red boxes for us to fix. We only had 3 spots where we had to reconnect it, but it was easy. So yeah, that's what I would go for. All right, so we're kind of making some different path options here to get us to the end. And this way you create a little bit of variety for players. So I have no idea which path here is the fastest. This one would be kind of a red herring, right? Like this there's no reason to jump onto this one because it won't get you to the end.
Won't get you anywhere.
And let's do some flags.
So you should have some sort of a secret like tunnel on that last one, like a teleport pad that you can't see or something.
See, this is
but that would add more to it. Never mind.
What Lucas is saying is what runs through my head the entire time I'm working on something.
I am the voice inside his head, is what he's telling us right now. No take backs.
So we can add our little checkered spot here. Let's actually make a little checkered black and white spot so it's very clear. And where's a nice white one?
Oh, good call. That was good. That was super good.
We got our flags here. This is going to be the actual asset that triggers the end of our journey. And all right, we do need to figure out what is the math going to be for this. How are I didn't move the spawn plate over the actual.
Oh no! Instant death.
So yeah, we do need to make sure that our spawn sphere is smaller than the platform that we're spawning on. So we're putting like a little bit of space, but we don't want it to be too much that we fall off the edge. And I guess we should have a start line too. So we're gonna trigger the timer when you leave a certain area.
Okay.
The start can be checkered too, right?
Yes.
I don't know anything about real life races.
All I know is there's a rabbit and a turtle, and they race each other all the time for some odd reason.
All right, so we're gonna spawn in this area, and we could actually make it a box.
Huh. What is the point of changing it from a sphere to a box?
Just the area you can fit it in.
Okay.
So I mean,
simply this is the start area. Once you leave this box, the timer will begin.
Well, not this box. This is the spawn box. So for starting the race, yes, I would make it a box that once you leave the tiled area is when the race starts. Okay. And actually, because of that, I don't want you spawning too close to the edge of the box. So that way you like accidentally stumble out on some off chance something happening. So
like you're running when you spawn or something.
Yeah. So we're going to make the race event start when you cross this line. We don't want it to start every time you cross the line, because when you respawn, it's going to take you back. So we want to make sure that that the event start is when you cross the threshold here, and the event end is when you cross this threshold. So you would want a box so that way it's very clear that it's this line is the end. If we put a sphere in here, then somebody runs to this corner and they don't trigger it. That would be frustrating.
Gotcha,
as far as the different shape with the spawn box, that's just for whatever reason you want it to be. Do you want to spawn within a radius of this point, or do you want to spawn anywhere in a certain box shape? And depending on the area that you've set up, you may want one or the other. The height also affects it. So you could make a tower where you could spawn on every level if you wanted. So let's see if we can actually get to the end of this level. Yeah,
close.
Definitely can.
Mm-hmm.
But we should have a path in here that is a little more user-friendly. I wish that fade to black timing could be adjusted. So let's put some bridges in here. I think I have a bridge asset. I do. The length is a bit long, so I'm going to use the basic bridge here, log bridge. And we're just going to have a few spots where this will make the jumps a little bit easier. And I'll worry about rotating these after. All right, let's move these into position. And we're also going to try to I'm wondering if it would be easier to place them upside down. If I do this. I think that'll be better. Now that I've already put all those bridge pieces down. How does this collide? Is it smooth? I think it's all one collision box, so it's actually pretty smooth. All right. Actually, I like that. So we're going to remove all the bridges I just put down. But we're going to use a block and then place the bridges under the surface of the block. And this will just mean that all the bridges are going to be nicely aligned to the surface as you run over. This will also help me plan where the bridges go a little bit better. So that way we have a non-jumping path. Or mostly non-jumping. If somebody really doesn't like jumping, they can take it this way.
They can take the long way?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is I can finish this race?
Yes. It's a very, very windy way to get there.
Mm-hmm. It's an indirect path, so it's definitely a handicap, but it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, you know how they have those like speed boosts, and I say they. You know how the Sandbox has speed boosts and debuffs, speed debuffs.
Mm-hmm.
you should have a plot where you're still doing the jumping, but one of the spots, one of the patches of grass has a debuff on it that actually slows you down. So you either can't make the jump after you hit it, or if you do hit the jump, then it's going to like seriously like hinder your ability to get first place in whatever race you're taking part in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could definitely do something like that.
Man, game making is fun.
Yeah. All right, so I'm just kind of loosely putting these in place, and then we'll correct them in a minute here. I think I'm gonna need an extra one there. Get these all sorted. And then we'll delete all the stone, and we'll just have the bridges left. So yeah, I'm trying to think of like what is going to be the way that deaths detract from the score. The typical way. Go ahead.
Go on.
The typical way that you would see like a time reduction. Now, I guess
Minus
that kind of
10 seconds or something.
Yeah, but that kind of feels like unfair in a double way, because if you respawn back to the beginning, you also lose time. So your time is going to be like doubly impacted by falling. So I kind of go ahead.
I was gonna say the way you could compete with that, or the way you could, kind of like, it would be really time consuming to set up, but you could have respawns for every different point as you fall off. Like if you fall off on the side of this one, you respawn to that one. If you fall off on the side of another one, you respawn to that one.
That wouldn't be that difficult to do, because if you respawn to tag, then we would just have an asset with a tag, and then we just put it on the top of each one, and then you just respawn to the closest one. Now that the most difficult part of that would be how accurate do you want it to be? Because if you fall off, if you jump from here and you fall more than halfway to here, you might respawn on this one, or you might respawn on this one, because you're just going to the closest tag. Yeah, there could be exploitable paths in there, which if you want that kind of thing, that's fine.
But you kind of want the exploitable paths, because this is all about figuring it all out.
Right.
Like if you're really trying to have like a real race in here, then exploiting things like that is part of the race. That's part of the fun.
So that's one option. Another option could be that we're not actually timing the race, but it's based on like points that you collect as you get there. But then I think that kind of defeats the point of it being a race. There was another idea I had for deaths.
Could you make it so that it's just point, like you get, when you complete the race, instead of it counting a time, it's associating the time with a certain amount of points, and so when you die, it just detracts points. So let's say completing the race gives you 10 points. Actually, no, it'd be, let's say you complete it in a time where that is associated with 10 points. But you died once, and every time you die, that takes away 2 points. So no matter how fast you did it, you still have 8 points.
Possibly. And actually, as I'm thinking about it more, I think part of this was more as like a tiebreaker situation. So if you
Okay.
ended up with a similar time to somebody, whoever has the lower death count would be the winner.
The winner. Yeah.
I think that's what the conversation was when we originally started talking about this. Was using lives as a tiebreaker. Oh, that's
Gotcha.
just not quite long enough. That bothers me.
Make a gap. Make a gap in the middle. If they have to jump over it.
You know, that's a good idea. Just a little. So you're not going to get no jumps. You're just going to get a little bit of jumps.
Yeah.
Just a little gap. Just a
Little
bit.
Little gappy gap.
A little more gap. But pay attention, because you know that gap. Maybe low visibility on that gap.
Could you make it so one of those is moving? Like one of the platforms right there where there's
just
a gap?
One with a
Just
heavy
one
delay, so you have no idea when it's going to move.
Exactly.
I literally hate that. And consistently moving platforms is one thing, but platforms that have kind of like a
randomized.
Am I gonna move now? Am I gonna move now? Are you how good are you gonna time it? I don't like having to time things. It's just go.
Just go.
So so maybe we're thinking about this in the wrong way.
Okay.
Maybe the real goal is to get across with the fewest number of deaths. That's our first objective. And our second objective is doing it in the least amount of time.
Okay. I like that. A non-traditional race.
So, well, yeah, I mean, most races you don't want to die, right?
I mean, yeah, that's very correct. I've never gone into a race and been like, hey, by the end of this, I hope somebody unalives me.
Like, can you do, like, you go to a real life marathon and they're like, so whoever reaches it to the end alive, and it's like, what is this, the Hunger Games?
I don't want to race anymore.
Yeah,
sorry,
like,
sir.
I'm
no
good.
Returns, no refunds.
I'm going back.
I'm here to hand out water. That's actually acid.
That's how they actually get me into Squid Games. Is they're like, it's just like a regular race. I'm like, is it?
I was told there would be a form I had to sign. You were told wrong. You're already here.
No take backsies. So yeah, our first score is going to be based on how many lives. So I imagine everybody in the top of the leaderboard is going to have 0 lives, and then they get sorted by whoever does it in the least amount of time. So somebody who's good at doing all these diagonal jumps is going to have a 0 score.
Zumsy.
I mean, I did it. So if I could do it, somebody could definitely do it. But you know, Lucas could still take the winding path here and do it in 0 lives, or 0 deaths. But it would take.
They're probably accurate.
It would take a lot longer. 0 lives consumed, right? So we're just making all of our bridges here. And then we'll set up the behaviors for the timer.
I actually have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
We doing a giveaway today?
We are doing a giveaway.
What are we giving away?
What do you want to give away? You know what we got.
I would like to do ducks.
All right, let's do ducks.
Okay.
Just lining these all up end to end. halfway done with the bridges.
Hey, Zumzy's here. Did we summon Zumzy? I feel like I said
his ears were burning.
And then he popped into the chat out of nowhere. So
he's like, somebody challenged me.
There's a strong chance that I'm a wizard, and I just didn't know it. Or maybe Zumzy's the wizard.
Or a seer.
Oh, he says he was listening while working. There's nothing mystical about this, unless he's lying.
He could be working as a wizard right now.
Oh, dang. I bet you that's it. He's in like Diagon Alley or something, selling flesh-eating slug repellent and all that whatnot.
It's important work. Although the flesh-eating slug repellent's really a rack. It's just salt.
I bet you're right.
It's like vampires don't eat you if you eat a lot of garlic. You just got to eat a lot of salt. Yeah,
they're like, here's this flesh-eating slug repellent, and all it is salt. And they're just like, every time they sell some of it, they're like, suckers. Oh man, I never even thought of that. Even in the wizarding world, you got snake oil salesmen. By the way, snake oil salesman, also a really good flesh-eating slug repellent.
I don't know if this is true or not. What I heard about snake oil is that the original snake oils were real and like from China. And it were like real medicinal snake oils. But when those products came to the US, we don't have those kinds of snakes here. So they just grabbed oil off of any old snake, which did nothing. That could be totally apocryphal. I have no idea if that story is true or not, but I like it. I like that story.
I would assume that sounds like it's got a grain of truth to it.
Because there are all sorts of oils from animals people use for medicinal things. There's like, it's like emu oil is like for pain relief, something like that. Whether it works or not, I don't know.
I had a friend when I was younger. I'm pretty sure his mom was, I think they were Vietnamese. And she used to have, I thought they were cobras as a kid, but it was probably not cobras. You know, I was a kid, I was like 9 or 10. I was a small, tiny human, and every snake was a cobra back then. But she used to have her relatives ship her like these snakes in some form of an oil or like a preservative. It was almost like they were pickled, and she would use the venom from these snakes and some of the oils from these snakes as like a treatment for her arthritis.
Okay.
Yeah, it was wild. Like, because I remember one day I walked into their kitchen, and she had like just these snake bodies like laid out on her kitchen island, and she was like basically kind of like milking them a little bit, like the fangs. She was like doing something to the fangs to get something out of them, and she was turning it into some form of an oil or like a rub for herself, and she would put it on her elbows because she had really bad arthritis.
Was that No, that was cats milking cats, right? From Meet the Fockers.
What? Oh,
I think it was cats, right? Not snakes.
He's like, I got.
Just when he said milking snakes, like that's what the first thing that popped into my head. Yeah, they're so little, they're hard to find.
When you say milking snakes, it's to do with their like fangs.
Yeah.
And, like actually getting the venom to come out.
I've seen it before. Like they have like a jar with like a cloth over the top, and they just kind of go and like stick the fangs through. Yeah. T-Man over on Twitch says they're checking out Bungia or Bungia, but Bugnia. It's probably Bugnia, given its bee kingdom.
I think you're right.
This one is kind of fun but hard with the text being Chinese. I took a look at the experience while I was waiting for the game to save, and it looks really pretty and like cute. Like, oh, you can't really zoom into the graphic.
Oh wow,
there we go.
that looks adorable.
Yeah, like they've got a honeycomb texture on all for all the stonework.
Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Super cute. Maybe we'll check
Somebody
that out
put a
sometime.
lot of time and a lot of effort into making that castle.
And
Speaking as someone
add it
who
to our
has helped
list.
to build a gigantic castle for an experience, they put a lot of time and effort into that.
All right, let's make sure this path is traversable. Oh, gotta jump. Just a little jump.
Oh, boop. Little boop, up.
Another little jump. Kind of a big jump.
A little bigger jump. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like mandatory big jump, but it doesn't have to be coyote time. It's plenty short. Long bridge. Don't fall off the edge.
See, now this is just Alex showing off.
All right, made it to the end with minimal jumping. Oh. Okay. Actually, I do want to see, like, what's the shortest path that I can take? Is probably almost. It's a little bit too far. I think I go this way first, then this way.
Yeah, not Jackie Chan over on YouTube dropping some facts on us. Check this one out, Alex. NJC says, so cow manure is more valuable for fertilizer than bull manure, but people would try to sell bull manure as cow manure. But there was people out there that would know the difference, and so they would say, that's not cow manure, that's bull. Expletive.
That also feels
where the term comes from.
That also feels like maybe a not true story that I want to believe is true.
I want to believe it's true so bad.
I want to believe.
I want to believe.
All right. So our path works fine. Now we got to get our timer mechanics in here. So we want a message to start a timer when we cross this barrier, but just start it, not reset it. So we're going to add in a logic donut. Right over the middle there. And behavior is going to be... actually, we might want a trigger volume. And components. Trigger volume. I believe... I'm trying to remember if...
I can fly.
I'm pretty sure...
What are you trying to do?
I'm just thinking of so multiplayer and single player layers, and I'm thinking about I'm pretty sure the rules system, if I remember correctly, the rules system can only be triggered by multiplayer messages, if I remember correctly. So in a multiplayer experience, in a single player experience, I don't think it matters.
Okay.
So we want a multiplayer trigger volume. But it's only going to control a local variable, though, which means that it has to be done by the player's interaction for themselves. So on exit, it'll send an exit message. There's not going to be an enter message. Broadcast type is going to go to rules. Blue and orange bars in the hierarchy panel shows whether they have a behavior or a component on that asset. I'll show you that in just a second.
Good question.
Broadcast duration is going to be once, and it's going to be a box, and we need to limit the size to, we'll go, can we do half values? I don't remember. 4.5? It will do 3.5. 3.5. Okay. So if you click on the hierarchy panel, which is right behind me, it's right there. You open up your hierarchy panel, you'll see that our avatar spawner has a behavior and a component on it. The behavior being spawn point and the component being the avatar health. If you look at our logic asset down here, which you can't really see because I'm in the way, but you can see there's an orange bar. That orange bar means that there is a component on this.
What do you mean by a component?
Behaviors and components are the two things that can be attached to assets. So, like if we put down this wolf, gray wolf here, we'll move it up so you can see it. Gray wolf is right here. It has no behavior, no component. So if we add a behavior like, say, predator,
there you go.
It adds a health automatically. So we see that it has both the blue and the orange bar. If we remove the health, we see that it just has blue.
Love it.
So it's just the behavior. And then we add a component. We could add any component. Now we see an orange. If we remove the behavior, we still have our component. We see it's just an orange bar. So that's just, as you're scrolling through this, you can easily see, oh, hey, this asset has behavior on it. That can be helpful if you have like a lot of plants, or even like a lot of, we've got all these bridge pieces here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, gosh,
you could have
something...
one of those log bridges have a component or a behavior to it, but not all of them would have that.
Yeah. And if we're like, we got all these log bridges and we're like, which one did I put the behavior on? Instead of having to click on every single one to figure out which one it is, we can just scroll through here and go, oh, this was the one that had the behavior on it. And then we go, whoop, right over to it.
Also, I feel compelled to say this. I know what a component and a behavior is. I just, in case there was somebody in the chat or that was watching that was new, I felt like we should explain it for them.
Yeah, so as you're working with logic in the Game Maker, behaviors is like the core functionality of the asset, of whatever it is, the entity that's on your map. So we put down this deer. Behavior by default is set to prey, meaning it's going to run away from predators or any attackers, and it's going to walk around trying to find food to eat. So we could set any behavior on it. We can make it a message broadcaster. We can make it a healer. We can make it a waygate, timed event, any of these things in here. I guess I can make it a waygate. Not everybody can make it a waygate, but that's another discussion.
Okay.
You can only have one behavior on an asset because that's like its core function. Components are add-ons that can go on any behavior. So you don't have to have a behavior to have a component. We could have it just have health, and this deer will just stand here, and we can run up to it, and we can kick it a bunch of times, and it'll eventually die, but it won't have any other behavior. It just has the health component. It could be pickable, meaning we could pick it up and carry it. It could play sounds. It could say something when we get near to it or when we interact with it. There's all sorts of different components, and most behaviors can have all of the different components on them, and multiple components. They're just like the things that augment the behavior, whether there's a behavior or not.
Believe me, you do not want to pick up and carry a deer. They are heavy.
All right, so we've got our trigger volume. Out of this world, Jax asks why no component. I might have missed the context on why
I
that
think you
question
already
popped up.
answered that actually.
Oh, okay. Um, sorry, my brother just texted me back after I texted him a couple weeks ago, so I just want to reply before it's too late.
Wait a
And
second. He took a couple of weeks to text you back.
yeah.
You message him right now because I would like that response to go as quickly as possible, so you can be like, look, listen, this is what a proper text response time is like. Weeks, not okay unless you're out of the country and out of cell signal. Like there's, I've gone on a couple, like, away from tech retreats where me and some buddies were just surviving in the wilderness for 5 days. So in those situations, yeah, it's acceptable. Was your brother on a survivalist retreat? I'm believing the answer is no. So a couple
No,
weeks to
I don't
respond
know.
is unacceptable.
So I'll just say like, um, my brother is not the fastest communicator. I used to be like that.
Okay.
And so when I was in college, I went to college in Texas. I grew up in Connecticut. So my family, my parents are still in Connecticut, and I was in Texas. And back back in the old days, you used to have to pay for your minutes. I had a pay as you go phone. I had a go phone, meaning that you would load up a certain amount of money on your phone, and it was like 10 cents a minute, or like
Unless it was long
25,
distance, and then it was even more.
and then it was like 25 cents a text or something like that. I don't remember if long distance was an issue on that particular phone or not.
Okay.
It might have been, well, so I had a Connecticut phone number, so it might have actually been, even though I was in Texas, I might have been able to do like regular local calling. I don't remember how that part of it worked, but
Things were complicated.
it
Don't ask
was,
questions,
yeah.
Lucas.
And for most of the time I was at this school, I didn't have a job, so I had a very small allowance. I had a meal plan with my dorm. My parents would send me a little bit of money, and I mean like maybe like 30 or 40 bucks a month, something like that.
Yeah.
But I lived on campus. I ate from the cafeteria that was like a meal plan, so like my necessities were taken care of. But I didn't have like extra spending cash, and I was never putting money on my phone. So my parents would be like, we haven't been able to get a hold of you for 2 months. What's going on?
Like my phone ran out of everything, and I haven't charged it, and my bad.
I did have a landline in my room, but that required me to be in my room when they were calling because I didn't have an answering machine set up. So, yeah, I was not good at communicating. So I basically go a whole semester without talking to my parents.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, not because I was like actively avoiding them, just because I like was not making it easy to get a hold of me.
Also, college, busy. You got a lot of tests, homework, study projects, all that stuff.
So much anime to watch and so many video games to play.
Exactly. Like I said, homework.
So yeah, I am much better about replying quickly to people now, because it's actually I found much later in life that that's one of the things that like actually like sparks joy for me, is replying so the ball is no longer in my side of the court. I like it's like a game of volleyball or tennis. It's like, get the ball away from me. So like I get a message, reply. Get a message, reply. Get a message, reply. Like, just
I like that.
Get it away. So that way the other person has to deal with it as fast as possible. That's not always easy, because I also like writing like 20 paragraph emails sometimes, but I do try to like reply promptly to things if I can, because I found that making my inbox have only 4 emails in it, and they're only there because I just need to be reminded that they're there, and all the other emails are archived. So I've got like 0 unread messages, 0, or other than the 4 emails that I'm saving for reasons, 0 other things in the inbox. They all get sorted to folders. I feel so zen in that space. So
it's fair.
And then when I come back from like a week-long vacation, I've got like 50 unread emails. It's like, that never happens because I read my email while I'm on vacation.
That's fair. I kind of expected that.
It's me. But yeah, I do like replying back to things pretty promptly. Um, $10 an hour to play WoW. Oof. Oh, and that's on top of a WoW subscription fee, probably, right? $10 an hour to play an MMO that you already have to
Oh my
pay for.
god. Oh
That's
my
so
god.
expensive. That's like you play for 5 hours and that's $50. That's
Oh no, thank.
insane.
That's insane.
I would never ever, especially when you have to put in hundreds and hundreds of hours to something like WoW. That's a racket. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wow.
dial-up days. My dial-up days didn't end until 2008, 2009, because I took a Photoshop class that was online because I couldn't find it a time in class that would fit with my course schedule. So I took it
Mhm.
online, and I was living with my parents at the time. And I was like, Dad, I can't. It's gonna take literally 3 days for my assignments to upload when I need to submit them. You have to upgrade to cable, please, or you will not be able to make phone calls all week. And he finally gave in. Yeah, I was.
Mom, get off
We
the
weren't even
phone. I'm trying to get my assignment submitted.
we weren't even on 56K. We were on a 28K connection that ran at the speed of 14K in 2008. That's it's bad. My dad doesn't like upgrading technologies. I'm the total opposite. I mean, I have definitely settled in. I've settled into like I want to stay on Windows 10 forever. No, please don't make me upgrade my PC to 11. Like I have 11 on my laptop. It's fine. It's whatever. But I don't want to do that. But when it comes to like just regular software updates, like if I can just click a button and it updates, I'll do
Yeah, yeah. That's fair.
it. All right. So we've got our exit message. Is exit broadcaster rules only once when we cross the threshold of this box. We've also got an ad starting in like 30 seconds, so we'll try to time that. So if we go to our gameplay, we need another set of rules. So we're gonna do a I think yep, start timer. And we'll figure this out. Well, I'll take a look at this while we're on the break, but we'll be
Okay.
right back. All right, we're back. So I see a question from Play Game for Fun about creating a message with arguments. We'll go over that in a second. So let me get this variable in here. So we are creating a local variable of timer with the formatting. We're using 2 decimals on our second, so we get really accurate timing. And we're making sure that it's local, and the name is just timer. We'll create. So let's go over to creating messages. So if we make this guy a message broadcaster. So let's we'll say example. We have two options here. We have add example. Actually, can I expand this? There we go. Add example or add example with arguments. So arguments are like, they're kind of like components for messages. So they're little bits of extra data that you can carry along with the message. Now, some messages have arguments by default, specifically these ones in yellow. So like weather fade, this time here is an argument. And what we can do with this is whenever we use the message weather fade, we can set the amount of time it's going to take to do that fade. So we can have we can set up multiple weather systems, multiple weather logics, where each one is a whatever weather we've set up. Like, okay, we've got one that's looks all gloomy over here, and we've got another one that's all nice and sunny, and then we've got another like night one, and we want to transition between them, but we don't want it to be like flipping a switch and then all of a sudden it's this new weather. We want there to be a smooth transition of, say, 30 seconds. So we would put time 30, and then we would actually use tags to make it send to the correct weather behavior. So we would say send to the cloudy tag or send to the sunny tag or whatever. And then it's going to take that amount of time to do that transition. There's other, like audio pause has a fade out time argument. So we can set up arguments on any of these things. Now, if you say we did example with arguments, we can add arguments of true, false, integer numbers, float numbers, meaning they have a decimal point, or text. Off the top of my head, I don't have any really good examples for the text aspect. And actually, I'm not entirely sure how you would use true and false. Like, I can think of a scenario where you'd want to use true and false. You could have a message that sends out to an NPC where they're either friendly or unfriendly, and use your true or false as the friendly or unfriendly. And so you could send a message that, like, you have this conversation with them, but the argument is dependent on what you selected. That's an example from just game design in general, but exactly how you would implement that in the sandbox, I'm not sure. And you can add multiple arguments if you want. You can trash them from here. But once we've set up that argument, so we'll put friendly in there, and then we hit create. Now we see message to send, and then label true or false, which I can't actually click. What? Why doesn't it let me click it? That's weird. So if you wanted to change this, I'm not sure that you can. If you go to settings and you go to messages, you can delete messages that you don't want to use. So we can go over to example, we check it, and then we click delete. And you can see it actually went away from here all on its own. As far as, and it's funny because it left the label there, but let me try with another argument and see if it'll let me. Yeah, for some reason, true false just doesn't seem to work. I don't know what the deal with that is. Um, so I don't think that you can edit them after making them. So you kind of have to have in mind what you want to do with them ahead of time. Um, Now, of course, you can always change them. So, like, you can say, you do example 2 with arguments, and then we can add multiple ones. I don't actually know if there's a maximum for arguments. Two arguments have the same name. Oh, number, I guess. Oh, it's because some of them are blank. That's why. We're just putting some garbage text in here. Did I really make the same? I did. I randomly hit keys exactly the same way.
You know, I've done that before.
Okay, there we go. So now we got all of these in here. Okay, so, well, now they work. What? Why didn't? Okay, if you have multiple true false tags, now they'll work. And then you can put numbers in here. That's so weird. Why did that work this time and not the other time? True, false. Okay, so I think it was a bug that the first example wasn't. Why doesn't that work?
That's weird, man.
It still doesn't work. Why does that's strange. So as far as I know, there's not a way to edit, but obviously you could just make a new message, and then you do have to go through and change any time that you'd selected that message to whatever the new message is, and then you can delete the old one. But that's weird. I feel like, if I remember correctly, I think there's some improvements in the pipeline coming down for the argument system, but don't quote me on that. That's so weird. Was there a... Did I make an example 3? Oh, here it is. Ample. Let me delete those. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, but as far as I know, there's no way to update the message stuff.
Okay.
Why is it that most techie people always have the cheapest, most outdated stuff? Random thought. So I don't think that's true. It depends on what they like. And so I would say people who are into security don't like new stuff, because the newer something is, the more unknown it is, and the more vectors there are for loss of security. So people who have worked at cybersecurity like having systems where they know all the ins and outs, and the systems have been hardened by years of testing. That said, they also know that they need to have like their driver updates and all that stuff to make sure that those any security updates that are needed for that thing are secure. But as far as like the hardware itself goes, they tend to like older things that have been time tested. If you're always jumping on the newest thing, then you're likely to get burned by something.
I have a friend who works in cybersecurity, and his house has smart nothing in it.
Yeah. All the smart things are just like a leaky sieve.
Yeah, basically, yeah. He's like, I don't want to give the system a way to get into my house. And I was like, hey, Joe, what's the system? He's like, you know what I'm talking about. But
be a part of your system.
Throw it on the ground. I played that video for my wife for the first time the other day, and she was just like, "What am I looking at?" And I was like, "You are looking at
thing
joy
ever.
incarnate." Yeah. You are looking at something that is pure, unbridled happiness. And I mean, have you seen the part where he throws the kid's cake on the ground? Wonderful.
I'm an adult. We're referencing a song by The Lonely Island. For those who don't know.
The Lonely Island is one of the greatest musical trios of all time, in my opinion. I know it's a bold statement, and I know they would disagree with me. But I say to anyone else, including them that disagrees with me, nay, nay. They are wonderful.
I knew you were going to say nay, nay.
Mm-hmm. It was the only thing that fit that scenario.
All right. So, our timer. Let's see if there's a clock. There is a clock. And go medium. And value true. All right. So we got our timer in there now. And this rule set, that we'll just call this rule set heads up display. Death counter, and then this one is timer. All right, so now we should see a timer. We do see a timer, and when we run over, it is not starting. I might need to tell it to update the values. All right, so let's go into our gameplay. Start timer. Required message is exit. Timer variable. Duration. Oh, wait. Wait, did we want a timer or did we want a... Is a timer a countdown or a count up? Stopwatch. We want a stopwatch.
Timer.
Sorry. You set a timer. You start a stopwatch.
Exactly.
I know how clocks work.
Did you tell me? Because oftentimes I feel like I don't.
All right. What was the message? Exit was the message. Select. So yeah, that. Too bad we can't rename that timer, but we can change what it displays as. Oh yeah, we can. We'll just call it time instead of timer. And then we don't have a message to stop yet, although we could put enter as we're going to use the finish line. And this should go. Now, I don't know if this is going to reset when we cross the threshold. That's what we got to find out. So we see our timer pops up. We run through. Time is counting down. We fall. We respawn. And we run through. It does reset the timer. So that's not good. That's something that we want to not have happen. Unless we do want it to happen. Do we want it to happen that way? Because then it would give us that would so if the timer resets every time we start over again, it's just going to give us the time of our final run, of the run that we actually complete. But then it would also be offset because our first score.
Actually,
yeah, it's going to be the deaths. So fewest number of deaths sorted by time.
The fewest number of deaths sorted by time, because if it's just adding the time every single time they respawn, like you were saying, that's not a fair assessment of how long it actually took them to do the race. But having those deaths tack on every single time does actually kind of like balance things out. So yeah, I think that's the perfect way to go about it.
I'm trying to see if I can make the jump while blind.
Use this as a part of the hack.
Okay.
No,
so
I like that a lot.
that.
I think that's really cool. I didn't know it would do that.
Yeah. So it just resets it as we run out of this space.
I love that. So you can even go back and reset without dying if you mess up and you realize that.
Yeah, and you're
that
like, oh, yeah, I can go back.
I done messed up, but I don't want to die, but I do want to practice more, so I'm going to go back.
Yeah, I think you could do that.
Oh, you know what? You should name the starting point. You should name it Callie. Just keep going back.
What?
Going back to Callie? Never mind.
That I think this is the first time you've given a reference that I didn't know. What is that?
I think it's a Notorious B.I.G. song, but I could be wrong. 1 second. Let me look it up. Yeah, Nazman gets it. Nazman, who was that?
Humalitox redeemed wait, but I didn't hear the overlay. Could you guys hear the overlay?
I didn't hear anything.
Going back to Cali.
Yeah, it's a Notorious B.I.G. song.
I'm not familiar with that one.
I thought it was appropriate because avatars and all that whatnot.
When you say Cali, I think of my wife's friend's daughter, who's the same age as my oldest, named Caliana, who goes by Cali.
That's a pretty name.
Yeah. But I'm also not like really familiar with Notorious B.I.G.'s music.
That's fair. I'm hyper familiar with his work because he was one of my older brother's like favorite artists growing up. So there was a constant, whenever my parents were gone, there was a constant stream of his music coming from his room.
Thanks to the prophecy. There we go.
Wait,
you know what we should do?
I fixed it.
We should have there you go. It's up.
It's I had the Twitch overlay has been muted for a long time because we did some event and then I forgot to ever turn the volume back up on it.
We should have a sound alert for the audience to use when an ad is about to start, in case we're looking at Restream or something, and we just let people know, hey, if you see an ad's about to start, would you please do this, and we'll give you some extra points for it or something.
Because you know that I almost never catch it. Joker Went asks, cool, Roblox got a new graphical update? I don't know, they might have, but this is the sandbox that we're in, and we're showing how to set up a leaderboard. So we've got our timer working. We got to get our end trigger. So we're going to duplicate the same trigger volume, but we're going to name them. So this is going to be our start, and this is going to be our finish. And we're going to move this over to the end. Technically, we could just make it the flag. We're going to replace, and we're going to make it the flag. And let's see how accurate that volume is. Oh, yeah, I'm pretty close. I think that's close enough. It's basically right on the money. And let's see. We want not an exit message, we want an enter message. I think I already set up, not objectives, gameplay. I think I already set up, yep, message stop on enter. So let's make sure that that triggers. So our timer's going. Oh, I fell.
So close. Alex got cocky.
It happens. I jumped too soon. Oh, I went the wrong way. And timer stopped.
When you say you went the wrong way, you went back to the beginning?
Well, I actually took I jumped to the wrong place that I wanted to jump to. I did not go the way that I intended to.
Welcome to my life.
All right, so the timer stops, and it also nothing happens when we cross the finish line again. Now we got to see about setting up leaderboard. So we could die and go back, and then it would reset our timer again. We could try for a better time. And actually, we don't have to die to do that. If we got 0 deaths, we could just run back. We could also put a teleporter to go back to the beginning. Let's hit save real quick. And let's look at the leaderboard setup itself. This is Roblox 2. Not Jackie Chan over on Twitch, aka Yumali Talks. All right, so let's go to our gameplay and let's open up the ranking system. So, create results screen, rank the players who played in the same session. Select a message to start recording the results for a player. So we could do it on exit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can add multiple variables. So I guess we could make this a single player experience. The problem is that doing the ranking seems like it would be for everybody. Like, you don't get the results screen unless it happens for everyone.
Okay.
So it has to, like,
result screen unless it happens for everyone.
Yeah, it has to end the game for everybody to get the results.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So why wouldn't you want to do it as a single player?
That's why you might want to. I don't want to because it's fun to see everybody jump around. But as far as Misty Mountain, I think Misty Mountain, isn't it persistent multiplayer? Like, the game doesn't end, right? People just keep on joining in.
I mean, I don't think there's an end to it.
Like, your session ends, I think, but or you run out of health on your pickaxe, I think is what happens.
You run out of health on the pickaxe, but then you can get a new one. Like that doesn't end the session, I don't believe.
I don't remember. I don't know the current setup.
Yeah,
and like with the leaderboard, so I'm not sure how it's supposed to go.
I should really check that out. I'm being a bad friend.
There's a lot of games to cover. So yeah, I think let's try it on exit. And then we're going to add the variable. You've selected, so you can select up to 3 variables. So the primary one is time. or no, primary one was deaths. Whoever gets in the fewest number of deaths, and then secondary was time. And so we want the sorting ascending.
I'm gonna have to mute for a second, but I'm still here.
Okay. We're sorting ascending for the number of deaths, and then we sort ascending also for time. So fewest number of deaths, lowest time, and create global rankings. I have a feeling it's going to end the game if I do this. But let's go save.
I was gonna say, is this something where you need me to jump into the game maker, or
Nope, no, I'm just gonna try it in. Well, yeah. I might need to share a session, but okay, I'm gonna see what happens in the game maker itself. This might only work once we get into the game client.
Gotcha. Yeah. Sorry. My one of my cats is apparently not feeling too hot right now, and I didn't want the sound of him throwing up on the stream.
Oh, I appreciate that a bit.
You're quite welcome.
So it didn't end here. I say end session. Back to builder. All right, let's try publishing this and see what happens. Yumili Talk says, I told some friends about Sandbox at dinner last night, and they thought it was pretty cool. They asked which games were mine, and I showed them, and they were like, that's awesome. And it made me go, yay. That's nice. It's nice when you can show things to friends, and they appreciate them.
And they don't poo-poo all over it.
Yes. It's nice when your friends don't poo-poo on things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I will agree with that wholeheartedly.
All right, so we've got time trials here. We're going to do all the things that we need to do to set it up. Just because I'm not, I don't think I've ever seen a leaderboard game where you didn't trigger the end of the game. So I'm kind of curious as to what happens in this scenario. So experience page, we're going to create a page. What can I do for a banner and stuff? I got to put in all these graphics. I cannot type today. All right. That is good to go. Save changes. Oh, I need a theme and a category. Theme is gaming. And category is race. So not a race, there's obby, which I guess counts. Confirm. Save changes. Got it. Publish page. Multiplayer. Confirm.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it plays out. I'm okay with saying that out loud.
Sure. Let's go back and Map location. Where is... Oh, further down. Occupied. I don't think 2v2 parkour is still active, but okay. Let's go with this one, I guess.
Maybe your game is just so much fun that the system was like, hey, now that Alex is out of it, I'm going to play for a little while. That's a thing that could happen.
Launch
in the real world.
experience. And I'm going to reduce my resolution on here because I don't think my computer's going to be happy running the Game Maker and the game client at the same time on stream.
All the things.
Yeah, I mean, we can literally do the minimum resolution for now. And let's go to the page. So if people want to try jumping in with us, we're just going to see what happens. Don't race to the finish line before I get in there.
I might need to reinstall the game client. No, Game Maker.
We're on the client.
We're in the client.
Yeah.
It's in the map?
Yeah, I just that's what I was just doing, setting up.
You were just publishing it. I thought you were publishing it to the game.
Nah, cause I wouldn't need to set up a page and everything for that.
Yeah.
But gotcha. this way we're seeing the leaderboard system in its native environment. I'm here. I'm gonna wait for some people. Actually, I'm gonna run out here, so my timer's going. I'm gonna see if other people show up.
I'm looking for time trials test.
The link is in the chat.
I wanted to find it on the map. Am I not gonna be able to find it on the map?
It might take a minute for it to show up on the map. Let's see.
Fair. That's fair.
Time trials test. Actually, a lot shows up when you search for time trials test. Oh, I hear somebody running around me. So maybe not the best name that I picked there.
It's okay. It's good to know the word test. Oh, time trial test. It just showed up on the map for me.
Okay, cool.
It did, however, load me into a different game.
Ooh.
It loaded me into. The name is so long, all I can see is one word, and that's Halloween.
So that was one of the experiences that's featured right now. So maybe, I don't know. Well, Nasman and Sir Alakin are here. So let's see what happens if somebody crosses the finish line. I'm going to wait over here because I want to observe this. And can somebody fall on purpose? It looks like Nasman fell. Wait. Oh,
I just died.
One of you should fall on purpose. Okay, so my deaths didn't go up. My time didn't change. And the leaderboard did not come through. Interesting. So now...
Down I go.
I would say... So maybe Nasman knows because they've got a Pickaxe Master avatar. Oh, hey, Jazz Wolf. That was funny. I saw you as Gray Man, and then your skin popped in. I'm curious if the Pickaxe Master experience doesn't end the game, and if that's why the leaderboards don't show up. Yumali Talk says, I got my leaderboard timer to work in my game, but I don't know if I could explain how I did it.
That's fair.
Well,
That's
I think I don't think that I have any issue with creating the leaderboard. I'm just wondering if anybody's done it without ending the game. Because this will be a very short game. Like, it only takes me about 10 seconds to get from the start to the finish. That's not a lot of time for the game to end for everybody else. Unless we call it, like, at a specific point. Maybe after a certain number of players has crossed the finish line. Ooh, whoa. So with the multiplayer on, I did actually fall all the way to the bottom of the toxic goo.
Oh. Did that cause you to respawn?
Well, I still respawned because of the death, but it was... Maybe I didn't fall to the bottom. It looks like I fall down pretty low. Also, we get... You know, I can't remember the last time I died in Liquid. We do get, like, a drowning death animation.
Oh.
Which has been there for a while, but I don't think I've ever actually seen it in-game before.
Because we've never drowned, because we're that good as swimmers. Just call us Michael Phelps.
I mean, most games that I've played do not have damage liquid.
Mm-hmm. But most games do have
why do you
some
have a
form.
health bar? Why do you have a health bar?
Oh.
Why are people's health bars triggering?
Maybe they're putting on gear.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, Jazz is changing.
Oh, change your gear.
Jazz changing your gear out. Yeah. 1 second. I'll change mine.
That purple set looks pretty sweet. It does change it. Interesting. I've never noticed somebody's health bar popping up when they change their gear before.
It's something that started happening recently.
That's cool. Like, it lets you know.
Power ring.
It lets you know that that you've got more health. It lets other players know that you got more health. Okay. So then what happens if I click I think Exit Experience isn't going to end the session for everybody. Yumali Talk says, on mine, the game does not end when it records scores. Can end the game however you want. Okay. Well, then let's see. Is my game showing up on the map? My land, I guess. Progress. Visited. Sort by new. Oh, sort by new. That's probably... There we go. Time trials test. There it is. Details. I do not have a leaderboard tab yet. But also it just came out, so there may be a time delay there.
Can you somehow remove the swim death animation? You can make that instant, correct?
You could if the death delay was super duper short. Oh, okay. So it does. Huh. When I exited the experience, it did pull up a leaderboard, but it didn't score anything. Maybe I need a different message. This would be the global leaderboard if there was one yet. Maybe we just need a persistently running message to record the scores. Or maybe a thing to enter your score.
Ooh.
Oops, I didn't mean to go back to the hub. I meant to exit. Um, All right, let's figure this out. So let's move our resolution back up. Let's go to our gameplay. Only one person in the instance can record their score. Okay, so we've got our stopwatch. Let's. Oh, wait. Control scroll does zoom. Does it not on full screen? No, it does on full screen. It wasn't working earlier. That's. I kept on like muscle memory going control and scroll trying to like zoom, and it like wasn't working before, but now it is. All right. So we've got our heads up display. We've got our death counter. We got our timer. Let's add. Let's see, from ranking.
For the multiplayer speaker component, if you set it to only once, it is only once for the whole instance until the instance resets. That's my issue at the moment. And this is from Not Jackie Chan over on YouTube.
Broadcast duration once. Are you're using the speaker component for the end of your race? Have you tried doing a trigger volume? So what I've noticed with speaker components is that the message sends whenever it re-triggers the seeker, so you kind of have to like walk out of range and then walk back for it to re-trigger. Because it's kind of like you walk up to an NPC and they say, "Hello, adventurer," and then they wait for you to leave and come back to do it again. They don't just keep on saying hello adventurer, like when you're right there.
Because that would be annoying.
I want each player to be able to do it once only. Okay, so I'm not sure how you would do that. Trigger it when they cross the finish line. Dr. Metaverso asked, Alex, are your variables on the leaderboard local? They are, which they would have to be because it's a timer for each player, not a timer for everybody. If we made them global, then the timer would be a global timer that everybody sees. Or stopwatch. However these things work. So yeah, I don't know how you get it to trigger once per player. And it goes to the rule system, so it has to be multiplayer.
When I was gonna say, if it's a single player experience, that would solve that, but it has to be multiplayer to go to. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have to be multiplayer to go to the leaderboard, but it does have to be multiplayer if you have multiple players.
Well, then just make it a single player if you want to have. I see. I understand the difference. You want it to be multiplayer because you want people seeing each other playing in the experience and bouncing around. It changes the look and the feel and the vibe of it all. Yeah, I gotcha.
I remember there used to be a thing that we would do back in like I think Alpha Season 3 or something, where you could like talk to an NPC and like they would ask only once.
Go
Um,
on.
but since it was like an NPC that the player was talking to, like that would it would trigger it just for that player. So I think does the asker, they might have removed the only once from askers. Only once. I don't know if that works or not. Like I in a multiplayer scenario, asking only once.
Okay.
Um, but in theory, you could have something like this ask the player. But I think I've seen people try to set stuff up with that before, and it asks only once for all players. Um, so that may or may not get you what you're looking for. Um, okay, so just watch Cyberdragon doing leaderboard a day ago. At the end, he said, "Don't use the on load message. Use a message after the game has loaded that the players trigger."
Hmm.
Yeah, so we're not using the on load message to start the timer. Um, we're using it the onload. The only thing we're using the onload message for is to show the heads up display, which is working. After that, it's the players crossing the start line, meaning leaving the grid here, which starts the timer. So like the I think all the timer stuff is working correctly. It's just getting the leaderboards to display everybody's score seems to not be working. Um, and I'm wondering if it's because we need a different message. So we're doing enter here, and then what did we do for the leaderboard? Oh, okay. I did the wrong message.
Okay.
That probably makes a difference.
I mean,
I
it might.
selected exit, which is the start, instead of enter, which is the end. We need the enter message. That might make a difference.
Yeah, it'll do
So
it.
let's save. And let's close the experience. Everybody get out of the old one. We're going to relaunch it. Da, da, da. Launch. I am curious though if the leaderboard started showing up yet. Nope, not yet. All right. Experience is back in the chat. And we're going to lower our resolution again, just for the Game Maker. Kitty.
Yeah. She comes to visit me during the streams now. It's pretty awesome. But she does this thing where when she's feeling super affectionate or when she wants your attention, she does this thing called love bites. And she's not trying to hurt or,
Yeah, just little nibbles.
you know, yeah, little nibbles. But when she does it when I'm not expecting it, I'm like, nah, because I feel like I'm getting bit by an animal, which I am. But it's more of an affection thing than I want to hurt you thing. But still, she's done it the last 2 streams, so now I'm like, got my eye on her. Like, what you thinking? What you gonna do? What you got going on over there, huh?
All right, Lucas is in here with me.
And I died.
No. I believe in you, Lucas.
I died again.
I died at the same. I was gonna try to one up you, jumping from the same point, but
How'd that go for you, Alex? How'd that go?
It
Oh
went
man.
okay. All right. So timer did not reset for me. Okay. Timer ended. All right. So now I'm going to try exiting experience. And let's see what it does for leaderboard now. Overview. Still no scores. All right. So maybe I should look up directions instead of trying to figure it out on my own.
Where would you look up those directions, Alex?
Well,
find something like that.
We have this cool thing called a Git book. If you press F1 in the Game Maker, or if you click the question mark up here, it does not take you to where I thought it was going to take you. You have to go over here to guidelines. Click that, and that opens. Also, not where I thought it was going to take me. Is there not a direct link to the docs? I guess there's not a direct link to the docs. There is from like the main menu. There's a link to docs.sandbox.game, but you can also get there from here. If you go to documentation, it takes you to docs.sandbox.game. And we can just search leaderboard and see what articles gets.
Well, that's convenient.
It's got nothing.
That doesn't seem very likely.
Well, okay, so to be fair, the leaderboard was not available to the public until the past few weeks. So,
okay, yeah.
It is possible that there's not a article about this yet.
Okay.
Or at least not a public
fair.
one. Game rules guide. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about a leaderboard. So I guess we do have to figure it out on our own. Oh no. I'm wondering if triggering the end of an experience is what actually does it. Now we've got various different components. We got like victory, multiplayer victory, and defeat, which are both options. For ending the experience, we can also I do kind of wonder if there was a logic asset that just repeatedly triggered the leaderboard to update, if that would do something.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah, just not that one. A message broadcaster. That did update. To rules system. forever. 1 second delay between broadcast. And that'll just mean that every second it pings the leaderboard to put in the latest scores. So just don't exit within 1 second of crossing the finish line.
I feel that's fair. Like, hey, if you want to be in the running, you gotta hang out for one Mississippi.
Yeah.
Okay, now you can go.
It would actually be difficult to like cross the finish line and exit at the same time that quickly. That would be impressive.
I'm sure somebody could figure out how to do it.
Oh, I mean, it's doable. You know, you just Alt F4 or whatever, but still would be impressive.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let's edit. Nope, that's the wrong one. This one. Close experience. Launch experience. I may have to go back and watch Cyberdragon's stream. I'm just trying to do this without exiting the game, because it's more fun when people can just keep running it and then leave on their own. Trying to get a better
stream, trying to get a better time.
Yeah,
and then leave when they're ready to.
And it's the same link that's already in the chat. Hit play. And we do have a break starting in 30 seconds.
No, I don't wanna.
All right, nothing seems to be a problem with having that message sending. Should be going. I should have made some sort of effect that showed that message was broadcasting.
Like a trail?
Yeah.
Or some shooting stars. Fireworks, if you will.
And exit experience. Is it going to show? Womp. Womp. Womp.
Oh. It didn't give you your times.
Nope.
Ad break ends in 28 seconds. So we're in an ad break now.
Ah, okay. Hey, YouTube and Twitter, how you doing? Have the ducks been drawn yet?
They've not.
They've not, but we'll do that after the ad break. All right. I guess what I could do instead. Well, let's make this do some VFX here. So we're gonna do VFX. And what's one that we can just trigger on demand?
Not Jackie Chan says, "Good duck, everyone."
Oh, I got it.
How many do you want to give away, Alex?
Mm,
We doing one or we doing two?
Well, we're doing one of each, right?
If that's what you want to do.
Yeah, do one of each.
Okay. And that's what we're gonna do.
I guess not a VFX because we have to turn it off and then back on, and it becomes a whole thing. So let's do. I could do a speaker. And speak condition is wait for message. The message broadcaster is going to have to send to all. Wait for message. Text to display. Display duration 1 second. We're going to wait 2 seconds to display. Not look at target. Not always on top. Speak condition. Wait for message. And it's going to be update. So that should just kind of over and over again be going like update, update, update. Okay, it is. That's good. And then I'm going to have a button.
Big red button?
Like a numpad. To end the game. This will be here. And we'll see it. We'll see what that does. So it's going to be a message broadcaster, or sorry, a victory. I think that'll automatically trigger loss for everybody else. Group victory defines if experience is competitive or cooperative. Yeah. Oh. What if it is a group victory? Then everybody wins. We'll leave it off for now. Delay before triggering. Do a 5-second delay. Oh, I was so close. Of course, it doesn't show me anything for that. But let's try saving again. And then we're gonna close this experience. I'll select the map location again.
When you search for the streamer ducks in the marketplace, what do you search for them under?
They probably don't show up on the marketplace because they're probably not listed.
Oh, I saw you like pull them up the other day when on the last stream we did, where you were like showing people what we were winning or what they were winning. So, how did you pull up all that stuff? You just pull them up from your own inventory?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, actually, if you look at my profile, go to sandbox.game/users/kamisazi. They should show up there. J-Dog asks, am I the only one hearing Panda? I believe so. I didn't hear Panda. We do have the Twitch overlay turned on, but I didn't hear I didn't hear nobody
redeemed
redeemed
anything.
anything. Yeah. So
Also, Panda is streaming right now as well, so maybe you have 2 tabs open.
Is Panda streaming right now?
She is.
So you might be watching Panda on another tab.
This is also possible.
Yeah, so if you go to my assets and type duck, yeah, make sure to go to wallet and type duck. Right there. As far as on the marketplace, I think they'd only show up if they're listed, and there has been an issue for a while now with things listing not showing up on the marketplace, which I know is being worked on. Like you'll notice that all the search results have a price on them. The pirate duck is only 2 sand. I already have one, but I could get more. I'm actually gonna get more of these. Oh wait, but it's probably in ETH sand. What chain is it on? Ethereum. I'm gonna have to get some ETH sand. I need more pirate duckies for all the pirate games I want to make.
It's fair.
You might have noticed my lands icon have a new look. If my profile loads. No, it doesn't show here. It showed when I was selecting lands, but that's probably a page caching issue. Also, that's not live. Did I hit go live? I thought I hit launch. Oh, I guess not. That would be why. Launch experience. J-Dog, are you watching Panda? Because I feel that's really funny if that's the case. I obsessively close my tabs. So I almost never have tabs that like are doing something that I'm not expecting them to doing because not that I'm not expecting them to do. Wow. Sentence structure. Because I like rarely have more than a dozen tabs open at once. So it just I know what they all are.
I has so many.
I can't do it. It's the same thing like with my inbox, except I learned that a lot earlier. Not having lots of tabs open.
That's fair. I know I shouldn't. I know it's hard on the computer too.
I mean, I
think those things up and running.
I mean, I think of all the things that like the paces I put my computer through, I think there being too many browser tabs open is probably a low issue for me.
That's fair.
With all the RAM that I have and the multi-core CPU and stuff, it's like, yeah, whatever, more tabs. Like I know it can handle it. I can't handle it because then I'm like, where is this tab? And like I'm looking around and I know there's ways to search for the right tab. I don't want to do that. I want all the things to be in close reach and me to not have to like click on. I hate it when the tab icons get squunched down real tight because you got too many of them open and you can't tell what tab is what. Oh, whoa. That was a neat little bit of lag. I can't make that jump, can I?
That was interesting.
Yeah, like it made it look like I was going to fall and then it popped me up over the ground. And I wasn't expecting to fall. I was like, I cleared that jump and then it was like, no, you fell. And it was like, oh, wait, no, you're right. My bad.
JK.
Tab groups is a memory. I use tab groups. I have a tab group. But I still only have like, I think 7 or 8 tabs in it. And it's like collapsed. And it's basically tabs that I don't, that are like long-term projects that I want to be able to run back to. It's the same link if everybody still has the page open. It would be good to have other people in this one. I'll paste it in the chat again. So yeah, there's a couple of tabs I have in a tab group that's synchronized, so I can like jump back and forth between my laptop and my desktop, which I almost never do. I always work from my desktop because when you work on two 4K screens for long enough, you get really spoiled for screen real estate. Moving back to a laptop that's like a quarter the size of one of my screens, and it's not. I mean, it's not a small screen. It's a good size laptop screen, but it's not like two 4K screens. I also just work better from my desk, like just the keyboard and mouse and the space that I have. I feel like I can get more done. So yeah, my laptop is mostly for like business trips and stuff when I need to bring it with me. Occasionally,
if I'm like with you.
If I need to keep an eye on my kids while they're playing in the house and not at my office. But yeah, so I do have that tab group, but I never have that many tabs open. Hey, all right, good. We got somebody else.
That's right. I was loading into it and then I got distracted.
It's all right. We got another player here.
Did it fully load in?
Okay. So let's see what happens if I click this button. Victory. Oh, I should have tried exiting the experience first. So whoever that was in there with me, I hope you're in the chat now. Okay, we still didn't get times. What? Why didn't we get times?
Maybe because both of you didn't finish it?
No, he ran through the finish line.
Umalidox says some multiplayer things have global versus local toggle, like multiplayer collectible. The local works with objectives. Not sure if that is relevant to anything. And the BitVox says maybe it's buggy until 0.11.
I mean, I get buggy, but it's like not working at all at the moment. I feel like I'm missing something important.
You're missing the times.
And the deaths. I'm missing everything. That's the problem. Oh, I didn't mean to load into Club XYZ.
Well, while you're doing that, would you like me to announce the winners?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. This first winner won the Alex Duck. They are a stream regular, so it's always nice to see a name that we recognize pop up on the winners list. So, congratulations goes out to Sir Alokian. You have won yourself a Kamisazi duck. This one is a special one. If you squeeze it, it smells like pumpkin spice. Enjoy, my friend. And the next winner, this is a new name. And as happy as we get when we see names that we know winning things, it's always really nice to see a new name on the winners list as well. Because it's always, gotta keep the fresh blood coming in. So congratulations goes out to Norman Mueller. Norman Whit Mueller, you have won a Lucas is Right duck. There's no alien to see here, folks. Just an ordinary, totally human duck doing completely normal human duck things. Quack. Am I right? Enjoy, friends. Alex will send those on over, so there's nothing you need to do. You have given us your wallet information, and we will take care of the rest. And by we, I of course mean Alex.
All right. So I'm thinking that we didn't cross we didn't use the right message for the leaderboard to display. So I'm wondering if we do message to send, we'll say process, and that waits for an interaction. all broadcast type duration once. Wait before broadcast. We're going to interact. We can NFT censor it too. Now I'm the master of the leaderboard. Or anybody else with a...
With a what?
With a, I don't know.
Okay.
What have we got? Assets. With Santa Wizzy's Naughty and Nice list. We'll do that one. I think I need the whole URL, right? NFT token IDs. Nope. Oh, it is the whole URL. Can I copy and paste?
No.
There we go. Having issues here.
Will not allow it.
Success, failure message, failure, show failed the interface, broadcast type, all. So interact will hopefully bring success to, and then we don't even need the message broadcaster. We just do success. I'll be nice. I'll turn on group victory. that way I don't force everybody else to lose just because I'm the only one with a book. And then we'll change the gameplay here. We'll have success.
How very kind of you, Alex.
I know. I'm such a...
You're a benevolent dictator.
What's the word that they... Philanthropist. There we go.
All I can think of is the episode of It's Always Sunny where Charlie talks about being a philanthropist. I don't know if you remember that, but he horribly butchers the phrase and pulls a whole new meaning out of it.
That sounds about right. I don't remember that one specifically. It's been a while since I've watched Always Sunny. Like, I think I'm like a season behind. All right. Victory. Oh no, I fell in the drink. Time trials, victory. And of course, it's not going to display there, but at least I know that the thing triggers correctly. All right. So we save. And we go and update that again. Experiences.
Ooh, Nazman says, in the corner of the finish line, I see a text box saying logic asset saving when I stand in the finish area. Never seen that before.
That's the donut. It's not there anymore.
Can I have a donut?
You can have a blue logic donut.
They do look tasty, I'm not gonna lie. At one of the events, the Sandbox should have like blue frosting donuts as one of the foods that they serve.
With little cookies in the middle that look like the different, like a cube, Rubik's light cube. Bulb.
Yeah.
Swirl, star, triangle, cloud.
I'm totally into it. There's zero sarcasm coming out of me right now.
So yeah, it's because there was one of these logic assets in the corner and it had a speaker component on it that was saying saving. That meant that it was supposed to be saving the leaderboard each time it did that. Which I can see why that might not work for the leaderboard. Because it wasn't, but I don't understand why this wouldn't work for the leaderboard, crossing this finish line. All right, but we're gonna have me interact with this to end the experience. Um, so I need to select the map location again. Choose, close, got it. Launch, multiplayer, and I've read the terms and agreed to them. All right, let's see. Put it back in the chat. And hit play. I'll have the milk steak boiled over hard and your finest jelly beans raw. I do love it when they try to be fancy and fail horribly.
Oh my god, yes.
My mouse cursor disappeared.
Charlie is the best. In the latest season, you can tell, like, because of COVID and, lockdown and everything, there was a delay between seasons. Mm-hmm. And they come back, and in the latest season, Max got his beard shaved. And every time I see him without a beard, I'm just like, who are you? Stop it, Rob.
Yeah, he looks weird.
So different without a beard.
Not bad, but he looks...
No,
he's
looks quite handsome.
Okay, he looks like... who's the guy who made Family Guy? Seth MacFarlane?
Okay.
He looks like Seth MacFarlane's, like, beefier big brother.
Okay.
Like,
I can see that, yeah.
Like, just a more powerful jaw and, like, just... But like, a same, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
like, youthful, like, maybe Italian descent
twinkle.
Face. Yeah, just...
He got a twinkle in his eye.
Yeah, but it does feel wrong without any facial hair. It just...
Yeah.
He looks so mature without it, which is weird because guys tend to look older, more masculine, more mature with facial hair.
Yeah.
And he looks like the opposite. Like it's like he shaves it off, and it's like, where was that chin hiding? Like,
you can cut glass with that thing. What are you doing, man? Did you know that him and Sweet D are married in real life?
Yes.
I found that out, it blew my mind.
Charlie and the waitress are married in real life.
Wait, I didn't know that.
Yes, which makes all of the episodes with her rejecting him even funnier and sadder, knowing that they're together in real life. I think they got together because of the show.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. Cool. I don't remember if they were together before the show or not. But originally she was just supposed to be a one-off character, and then they kept her around. But yeah, it's quite funny knowing that they're married in real life.
Knowing that Rob and Caitlin are married in real life, that, like, every episode when they're so mean to her, I'm just like, I don't think I could say those things even in jest to my wife. And then I think about it, and I'm like, wait, if we're both getting paid millions of dollars to say and to receive these comments, I think we could do it.
Charlie and the waitress met on the set of Reno 911. Were they on Reno 911 together? I didn't.
What?
I haven't seen all of Reno 911, so I must have missed that they were on it at all.
Yeah, same.
All right, I'm going to... Ba-doop. Fingers crossed. Please work.
Victory! Wait, there was somebody in the background, and then the victory screen thing came across, and they just disappeared. Did it?
I've got time.
Come on, delay. Woo!
The other person did not cross the finish line, so their thing didn't count.
Time. Yeah.
But this did end the game for everybody. So
what you wanted or not what you wanted? Not
what I wanted, but I think it's the only way the leaderboard works.
Okay.
I'll check with Cyber Dragon. But it seems that it only works if the game ends for everybody, which, like I said, I'm pretty sure Misty Mountain does not end. the game for everybody.
No, I don't think it does. I think you just keep playing.
Which would explain why the leaderboard is not working there, if that's the case.
Yeah.
The BitFox, have you been playing Misty Mountain? And I've got top place on the leaderboard with a time of 2 minutes 11 seconds. We can do better than that.
Can you, Alex?
The leaderboard's not Misty Mountain, it's Lucky Point. I could have sworn somebody was asking about Lucky Pit. I could have.
I think they were asking about a pickaxe master experience. I think we assumed.
Oh, okay. So, is that correct, BitFox? We assumed the wrong pickaxe master game. There in one episode, Danny DeVito was a producer of Reno 901. Could explain some similarities between the shows, which there are many. Was Reno 901 also an FX show? I feel it was. Before it became FXX for reasons.
Well, let me push the button because I don't have Santa Wizzy. Arg.
You don't have Santa Wizzy's Naughty and Nice List book, which is on the marketplace. You could get it, and you could end the game if you wanted.
And your game.
This is this is a sales ploy. Get on the leaderboard. You have to buy my book. Or play with somebody who has it. I think was it Jazz Wolf who picked up a couple?
A couple?
I think she got two. I think she got two. Maybe it was just one. I feel like I only have 6 of them. Doing the L dance, but you know who got the faster time.
Who?
Well, I guess the leaderboard will tell us.
The leaderboard will tell us if it's working properly. I'm doing a happy dance right now in my overview.
Oh, it didn't show. Did it show your time?
It did not.
You? It only shows mine.
Did it show it to you? It
It's
only
showing
shows
my time.
you.
How do you get? So I guess you need global variables, but how do you do global variables for somebody's time?
Here, I just took a screenshot of what I see. I know you know what it looks like, but I'm sending it over into the Alex stream chat right now just so you can drop your peepers on it.
And I thought I did group victory. Did I change that?
So it shows me in first place in position 1, even though
what?
You got a better time than me because my time was 15 seconds. And I had 1 death.
Why does my mouse cursor keep disappearing? Okay, it's weird. Screenshot. Where'd you put it? In our chat?
Mm-hmm. And then when I go to the next screen, I see rankings for time trials. And it just has you in position 1. And it says your time is 2 minutes, 11 seconds, 11.56 seconds.
So that was my last time. So that would hopefully update eventually. Oh, okay, now we've got a ranking tab. 2 minutes, 11 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Oh, ranking top 100. Hoo-wee. BitFox says, looks like the same issue like Lucky Pit.
Oh no, I fell. My brain's doing many thoughts. And it still has my old time. So yeah, there's probably something broken that we can't fix, but I am going to talk to Cyber Dragon about this and see if we can figure out if there's something I'm not doing right on my end as well. Because like I said, I just learned how to do this on stream before your eyes. So I have no secret knowledge in here that's showing me the way. So I guess we will revisit this on Wednesday as long as I have some solutions.
Some new information.
Yeah. So the next thing that I want to work on, and we're not going to do today because we've been streaming for 3 hours now. What I would like to work on next Wednesday is recreating this a system similar to the echoes in Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Okay. So I would like to be able to select using the number keys some different assets, and then summon them with maybe like a right click or a middle click or something, and then be able to adjust their placement by picking them up and putting them down places. So I will see if I can figure that out, and we'll make that. But if I have solutions to the leaderboard issue, then we will revisit those on Wednesday and try to show you how to get that set up. But I have a feeling like there's stuff on the back end side of things that needs to get fixed also. It feels like a combination of issues. So anyway, I hope that even though this was incomplete, you learned something valuable. I think I learned some valuable things. And on Saturday, we'll go back to playing some games. And I'm not sure what yet. I think we had Biverson gave us one game that we or somebody gave us a game that we didn't. Maybe it was Roxy McGill gave us a game that we didn't. Was it Roxy McGill gave us a game? I think we played. We played. What was it?
No, we played Roxy McGill because it was Gary's third attempt.
Gary's third attempt. But we didn't play we didn't play the multiplayer one. We launched it and I realized that, and then I realized it was the single player one that I wanted to try first. So maybe we'll start with that on Saturday. Be thinking about what games you want us to play, and we'll try to play them. And in the meantime, let's go see who we can raid. Is Panda still streaming?
How about you raid? I was gonna say, how about we raid Panda? She's playing right now.
All right, let's raid Panda.
Alrighty, send that through right meow.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. We will see you on Saturday.
Thanks for stopping by, everyone.